Hey VC, what's up? It's me, yours truly. I'm back to post a quick video here. The next video in the box set series. Haven't done one of those in a while, so I want to kind of jump back on board with that. And gonna kind of swing back over to jazz this time. Well, actually, I shouldn't say the last. I think I've only done one jazz box set series so far, and that was one Coltrane one. So I wanted to kind of do a couple of those, and maybe do one or two more Coltrane ones here pretty quick, especially considering that I think I have more Coltrane box sets than any other artist, so definitely kind of share some of those. But today we're going to be doing the Dave Brubeck For All Time box set. That's what I wanted to share. I'm not going to say a ton about it, but just again, people that might be interested in purchasing one or something like that. I remember when I was looking at, I saw one of these on eBay, and again, I've kind of mentioned this on my box set videos, when they just post it with just simply a shot of this right here, and you have no idea what the box set looks like, or if it's mini LPs or jewel cases or whatever else. So this is, again, Dave Brubeck For All Time box set. It's one of those nice, simple, kind of right to the point type of box sets, not a lot of flash to it, which I think is great, actually. You know, I've definitely grown to love the mini LPs and some of the different things they do with box sets, but I still think some of my favorite box sets overall are the ones that don't come with the overly, I don't know, fancy booklets, or you know, cases and booklets that only can fit into the set one way. And I mean, and again, that's cool. I have a number of those that I love, but then there's also something just kind of the nice, straightforward, simple, just box set too that I also kind of like, such as this Dave Brubeck set. So I think that's very cool. The only thing I would maybe like a little bit more on this set would be if they had like maybe a little, you know, kind of door or something right here. I mean, that's really the only thing I can think of that can make this set any better. But yeah, really love it. Again, beautiful, simple, kind of right to the point type set. So what you get inside here, actually let me kind of show you here like this first, if I can catch the light where they don't slide out. There we go. So that gives you an idea about the albums that actually come in this set. And as you can tell by the title of the set, you know, Dave Brubeck All Time, For All Time. This set contains 5 of his CDs that kind of run off of the Time title, if you will. And it's kind of neat too, because you know, there's a number of bands that have done this throughout history. I always tend to think about EPMD. It's one of the bands that automatically come to mind when I think about that, which is a, you know, it was kind of a late 80s, early 90s hip-hop band, one of my favorites. Well, their very first album was called Strictly Business, and then their follow-up albums were Unfinished Business, Business as Usual, you know, just like everything they did had business in it. This is kind of the same thing with Dave Brubeck, and they For All Time is kind of the time theme, if you will, of the titles. So just to go through these really quick here, actually let me do it like this. We start off here with my favorite Brubeck album, which is Time Out. And of course this features Take 5, which is a, you know, total classic. But yeah, again, if anyone was checking out Dave Brubeck, this would be the one I would recommend looking at first. And for those of you maybe that are not familiar with him at all, you know, one place that you might have stumbled across him and didn't really realize it was that if you're a fan of the movie Wedding Crashers, if you remember the scene where they went to the guy's big house and they were playing football, that very interesting piece they were playing while the football game was going on, that was off of Dave Brubeck's Time Out. So again, if you happen to recall that scene in that movie and you've never heard of Dave Brubeck, that's one place you've definitely heard him before. So yeah, if you're going to be checking him out, this is definitely, I think, the album to start with. That's his classic. Now the follow-up to Time Out was Time Further Out. Okay, again by the Dave Brubeck Quartet. One of my favorite I mean, he has a lot of, fantastic album covers. I think just to have, 12 by 12 prints framed of a lot of his album artwork would just make a beautiful set of pictures to have on your wall. Some very, very creative and artistic things. You'll kind of see that as I go through. Again, I just already showed you Time Out there. But yeah, this is one of my favorites here. It's just something about, the words over here with the way this image is, the stereo label. I don't know, that's just a very, very nice looking cover to me. But anyway, this is Time Further Out, which is kind of his follow-up to Time Out. And one of the things that Dave Brubeck was really kind of known for that made him very unique was his, and I'm not much of a music person in terms of being able to read music and understanding timing and naming notes and all that kind of stuff. I mean, that's just not part of my world whatsoever. But one of the things that attracted me to Dave Brubeck, which is also something he's kind of renowned for, is his changes of various time signatures, which I guess kind of in a somewhat of a simple way to say that is, his rhythms kind of bouncing all over the place. I mean, that's kind of, I guess, a very layman's type way to say it. But it's just a skill that he has, which makes his music very, very unique. And you really get a good sense of that on Time Out, in my opinion. But yeah, Time Further Out, another very, very great piece. Then we move on to Time In. And this is what's playing in the background, actually. So, same great stuff. And a lot of times too, you can really go back and forth on his albums, because you'll get more mellow, slower pieces like this, and you'll get more upbeat type of stuff, and you just kind of never know what's going to come on the next track when you're listening to him. And again, this goes back to some of that great artwork you find on the front of some of his albums. This is Time Changes. I actually bought this record as a blind buy like a year or two ago, and again, just typical great Brubeck stuff. He passed away, actually, how long ago was that? Is it 3 years ago or something like that? So somewhere in that time frame, I think the last 3 to 5 years or somewhere in there, he actually passed away. But and then the last one we have here is Time in Outer Space. And I have not listened to this album yet. You can see it's one of the ones that's still sealed. But I'm actually going to give this a spin today and kind of check it out. So I don't know much about it, but again, fantastic artwork on the front, and I'm sure it's going to be the same fantastic Brubeck stuff. So those are the 5 albums that you get in the set. Again, it's kind of really nice, simple, right to the point, good stuff. Another great thing about the set is the cost. I mean, it's not a very expensive set at all. I mean, you can typically find these used anywhere from, I would say maybe 17 to 20 bucks used. The brand new, they run anywhere from like $25 to $29 you may find on eBay or something like that. I think I got this one brand new when I bought it. I think it was $24 is what I paid for it. So again, a very inexpensive way to get some fantastic jazz and some of the classic Dave Brubeck albums. All right, so there you go, VC. Again, just wanted to share another set with you here. As always, let me know if you have any questions, and of course I'll be back soon to do another vid. Oh, actually, while I'm doing this video, since it's kind of short, I want to go ahead and give out a thank you, actually. Go ahead and do that, because I received this from the one and only Mr. Steve. Sent this as some VCLT earlier, which is Joe Walsh, which is one that I didn't have in my collection. So yeah, very, very cool VCLT piece from Steve, which I really, really appreciate. Steve, thanks a lot for thinking about me, man. I've listened to side 1 of this already, but I haven't listened to the second side yet. And yeah, I mean, it's vintage Joe Walsh, and it's just one of his albums that I've never come across in terms of actually picking up and listening to. So awesome addition to my collection. Nice clean copy as well, which is nice. And so, man, I greatly appreciate it, man. Thank you so very much. All right. So VC, let me know if you have any questions, and as always, we will talk to you soon.